Greetings, fellow makers. It is time for another Karlach cosplay video. In the last one, I made the wig, and the previous one, I made the horns. And this video, I'm going to be making Karlach's ears. And I have some plans. They may not work out, but I thought I would bring you along on this adventure. Years ago, I bought these Lord of the Rings elf ear extensions, and they're not great. So I don't want my Karlach ears to be like this. Problem one, they are very bumpy. So I don't know if this was in their casting on purpose or just something that happened over time, but there's all these little bumps on them that look way too exaggerated to be something that's the human skin. Second thing is these are not mirrored. They are actually the same ear side, which is super dumb. So you can see here one fits inside the other. I had to trim part of one side off to make it fit on the other side of my ear. And whichever side is supposed to go on which ear, it does not fit well on my ears. It's not even close. My ears are not a standard shape, I guess. So these were pretty disappointing. So I don't want to make this exact replica because they did not fit me well and they didn't look very nice. I do like that these ears are super light. They're super thin. Mine are probably not going to be like that at all, but we'll see. I do need mine to be much longer, so they're probably going to be solid. In another video that I'll link below, Bill 3D scanned my ears and we 3D printed them. I figured this would be a great kind of analog. It's to scale of my ears that I can sculpt on top of. After this, Bill printed them again in a higher resolution just for fun, but holy cow, look at that. It's insane how good that looks. You can't even really see the layer lines. It's nuts. Ignore this spot here. I sanded that down because it was a spiky bit that was a polygon from my hair and it was kind of in the way. I have the Karlach 3D model, so I took some pictures and printed them out of her ears. I think that's to scale. So it'll be like this and a little pointy thing. And I have the different views that I had to kind of splice together to fit on one piece of paper. So I got this creepy, yeah, that's what I'm going for. So this will be my ear and this will be a sculpted part of it. There are many different ways to make prosthetic ears. I think the one I want to do is with polymer clay. So Bill picked me up some Sculpey Primo, and we did get some other colors, some like yellows and browns in case this red is not correct. But I got this fabric that's going to be for my bodysuit already, and this is going to be like the mid-tone, so I'm going to have to add on some lighter and darker colors to this, but that looks pretty close already. I might not need to mix in any colors. And I haven't bought the makeup yet, so whatever kind of red my ears end up, to blend it, I'll just make the makeup match the ears. So making the ears first. I think I have all my materials ready to go. I haven't really worked with polymer clay much, but you have unlimited working time until you bake it, and then it will set into whatever shape you have it in. So we'll see how that goes. I've been watching a lot of the YouTube channel North of the Border. He does a lot of really cool polymer clay sculpts, so that was very inspiring. It also inspired me to try an aluminum foil understructure just to use less clay. It'll make it a little bit lighter, maybe. So I'll kind of make an ear out of foil and cover it in clay and see how well it matches to my ear. Let's give this a go. this is what I have so far. I've got an ear-ish shape. Looks like the reference, I'll take it. I did take it off my ear form because I couldn't get the clay down into the crevice behind my ear. My ears sit flat against my head on the back, so I extended this a bit there. I was looking around online to how people like to smooth out their polymer clay. Some people recommended Vaseline, others isopropyl alcohol. That's what I had right here, so I tried it out. Put on a little too much, but it evaporated, no problem. And I had gloves on while I was working with the alcohol. I kind of prefer working without the gloves because I can feel the clay a bit more, but I don't want to leave on any fingerprints. It is staining my hands a little bit, but it washes right off, so I'll take it. I think I'm gonna try and bake this and see what happens. Oh, and this is how much clay I used, a little over half a pack. I think I could have gotten it a teeny bit thinner. Got a little aluminum foil base here so I can kind of keep this in a curved shape while it's baking. Looks like for Primo Sculpey, I'm supposed to preheat to 275 degrees Fahrenheit or 135 Celsius and bake for 30 minutes per 1/4 inch of thickness. And apparently it's okay to overbake, so I can leave it in there a little bit longer, but I have to worry about it getting brown and toasted on the edges. So you make a little aluminum hat, goes over the whole thing, and that should help stop the toastiness. Little hat, closed up, and we'll check back in 30 minutes. Okay, hopefully it's baked all the way through. Just gonna let this cool down. All right, there's little shiny spots where it was touching down to the aluminum foil. Hopefully that's cured. Now that this clay is keeping its shape, I'm gonna add a little bit more on the back here to really wrap around the back of my ear. I don't know if this is gonna stick. I know there's a kind of a clay slip called Bacon Bond that you can brush on in between your clay layers to make sure they stick together. But we'll just see what happens when we just mush it to the already baked clay. Wow, it's a lot easier when most of the clay is already baked. I don't have to worry about squishing or marring the surface. Just add a little bit more here. All right, we'll see if this extra little extension here sticks after baking. Looks okay. Yeah, that looks like it bonded. Awesome. Whoop, it's a little hot still. Let that cool down. Oh my gosh, I think this might actually work. There's no adhesive on here yet, and it's already staying on pretty well. Oh, that looks pretty cute. Oh! Well, now I have to sculpt the other ear. What happened? I must have scooted back the foil too far to touch the burner on the back, and maybe this was pressed against the burner because, oh, that is crusty. I'm gonna have to sand that off. Oh, otherwise this ear looks great. That's a bummer though. Got a little burnt on the tip there too. It's no joke to protect your sculpts in the oven. Cover them with foil and make sure they're not touching any heating elements. I decided before I did any more sanding, I should try on my ears with the wig, make sure everything's good. Turns out it's not good. The ears I made are too big. They hit the horn. And in fact, looking at them, they look bigger than I should have made them. So I looked at my reference. I printed out my reference too large. This is a smaller version I printed out, and you can see here how much smaller the ear should be. I think I got a little confused because my ear here is actually bigger than the ear shown, like it should go up higher, but you know, elf ears go back, so. That's kind of nice though. These ears were a little heavy. They feel a little heavy on my ears, and I don't know if I need to do the whole ear. I think just an ear tip will do. So one of my options is I could snip these off and just reuse the tops. I'm gonna set these aside and keep them and remake them. And so I did. I resculpted just the ear tips at a smaller scale. They still ended up a bit lumpy, and after baking, I tried out the sanding. I used a rotary tool with just a sanding drum on it, and that sanded really well. To get everything smooth again, I went straight to one of those Scotch-Brite wheels that you can put on your rotary tool, and that just buffed everything right out. I did go a little too deep in areas where I reached the foil, so I smeared on some more clay in those areas, and then also beefed up some more clay where I wanted it to fit my ear a little better. I think my new ears are super cute, and they're just the ear tips. To attach them, they're not going to stay on their own. I'm going to have to use some kind of adhesive, so let's do a gluing on the ear test. I've got my wig cap on, and I have Bill here.
Hey.
Who's going to apply the adhesive. Yes.
There are a number of adhesives you can use for this. We're using Prozaid, you could use Spirit Gum. There's some other ones out there. This is great stuff. You do need the remover, very important.
Yeah, this is like medical grade stuff that will stick on you until you use the remover.
Yeah. Brush a layer on, let it dry. Brush a second layer on, let it dry.
Sweet.
Then stick your thing on. I'm just making sure I'm spreading it out really well. Coat number 2.
Guess I don't need my glasses.
Probably not. Your ear is very sticky.
Use this for a cyberpunk costume,
Yeah,
right?
that was a while ago. This stuff works really well.
You stuck a thing to your face though.
Yeah, and it stayed there for hours and I was sweating. It was really impressive. All right, that's 2 layers. Gives us a few minutes to dry nicely and then we'll stick your ear on.
Woo.
Got our Prozaid applied to the ear and I've got the ear here and I'm going to try and stick it down. Forward more. You need to tuck your ear right down in there.
What we found with these polymer ears is since they're a little heavier, they really need to be stuck down on the back side.
Yeah, they want to fold down. Oh, you look like Dobby.
Dobby wants a sock.
I'm a free elf.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
That's stuck on. Oh, it could be tighter up front.
Maybe I could add a little adhesive after it's been on there and stick it down.
I think I just don't quite have it in the right spot.
This is the less favorite ear, and of course, this is the one that's gonna be seen more because it's on the short hair side.
Of course.
It's always like that when I make 2 of something. Like lefty's the favorite.
It's mostly sticking.
Yeah, it feels
There
like
you
it's
go.
on there.
There you go. Oh yeah, if I really go in there, I'm not sure how hard I should push on your ears.
It doesn't hurt at all, and I don't feel the hairs on my ear getting pulled.
All right, cool.
Well, I have decided that my ears are too heavy. They definitely don't want to stay upright. We were briefly brainstorming if I attach the back of the ear to the wig, like with Velcro or a snap or something. That could work, but I also could just make my ears a different way. This was a neat thing I wanted to try, doing polymer clay to sculpt on some ear tips. I think if they were smaller, they might work. Maybe even if they were like covering more of the ear, maybe that would be better. But we have silicone, we have latex, we have a bunch of other stuff in the shop. I think we might have all of the mold making materials. I just wanted to try sculpting my own, which I still can do if I use like a monster clay and mold it. We'll see. Have you ever made ear extensions or ear tips? I would like to hear how you've done it and how the system kind of worked for you. Did you like the way it worked out? Did you also use Prozaid and get a little bit of it in your hair? And suspect that the next hour is going to be using Prozaid remover to remove it from your hair, because that's what I feel like.
Like you could see the future.
Overall, it was a neat experience. I haven't worked much with polymer clay. I'm going to have to watch more tutorials on all the secret tricks and tips that North of the Border has. And these do still kind of come off. But yeah, learning experience. I hope you learned some stuff. Obviously, I did. Thank you for watching. I'm going to call the video there. Maybe work on Karlach's tail for a change. Just freshen it up a bit and then go back to the ears later. Thank you to the members of our Extra Credit Club. It's because of you I'm able to take the time to do experiments and learn things. And that's all I've got for you today, so have a good week, and I'll see you next time.